But let's get to the action that we're going to see on Friday night, shall we? 3 fights that we'll get to here. That'll be the main card of Bellator 84 this Friday, December the 14th in Hammond, Indiana. The first fight on this main card, Felice Herrig, 7-4, taking on Patricia Vidonic, 7-3. It's a women's 115-pound bout. Herrig coming off a decision win over a 3-2 fighter named Simona Sukupova. That was on August the 3rd of this year in North Carolina, while Vidonic coming off a decision victory over 9-6 Sally Krumdiak on July the 14th of this year in a fight in Tacoma, Washington. Herrig has 4 of 7 wins via decision with 2 submissions and 1 knockout. Vidonic also the majority of her wins via decision, 4 of 7, and 3 submission wins, none via knockout. Herrig has lost 4 times, all via decision. Vidonic has lost 3 times, all via decision.
It's interesting that both fighters have never been finished.
And it's also interesting that this is a rematch, as Herrig beat Patricia Vidonic via unanimous decision on April 13th of this year in a fight they had in the state of Tennessee. Herrig, 28 years old. Vidonic is 33 from Medford, Oregon. Herrig is from Buffalo Grove, Illinois, fighting with Team Curran. She's 1-0 in Bellator and is riding a 2-fight win streak. Vidonic also riding a 2-fight win streak. She'll be making her Bellator debut. She's been fighting since 2010, while Herrig has been fighting since 2009, despite being 5 years younger. Felice Herrig won the first time. I see no reason why it would change just a few months later. She beat her in April via decision. I think she'll do the same thing on Friday night. I like Felice Herrig over Patricia Vidonic.
Yeah, Felice Herrig is a very good 125 or 115-pound fighter. I've seen a few of her fights. Pretty impressive, fighting for the XFO, which is kind of not necessarily like a Team Curran run, but it's
kind of,
yeah,
right? It's
an Illinois-based promotion where a lot of their fighters are on that card or on their cards. This is tough because I've really never seen Patricia at all. So considering that Herring's already beat her, I'd say it goes back to Herrig, but perhaps Vidonic is going to have a different game plan this time around. It's kind of tough to call, but I like Herrig in this fight.
The fact that she beat her in April, I mean, why wouldn't she do it again? So we both go with Felice Herrig, and now we get to the co-main event. Marcin Hale, 15-2, taking on 18-2 Dave Jansen. What a fight this is going to be. It's the lightweight final. Hale coming off a submission victory over Rich Clemente on November the 16th in his semifinal at Bellator 81, while Dave Jansen got a split decision win over 15-3 Ricardo Terloni in his semifinal, also on November 16th. Held 8 of 15 wins via submission with 4 decisions and 3 knockouts. Jansen, 11 of 18 wins via submission with 7 decisions and 1 knockout. So both these guys like to tap people out. Held has lost twice in his career, one via submission to Michael Chandler, the current Bellator champion, back in 2011 at Bellator 36. He's also lost once via decision, while Jansen also has lost twice, both via decision, though, one to Kamal Shalarus and the other to Ricardo Lamas, both in the WEC in 2010 in consecutive fights. Jansen is 33 years old from Portland, Oregon, and is currently riding a 5-fight win streak. Held also riding a 5-fight win streak. He is 13 years younger, just 20 years old, from Poland. He's 4-1 in Bellator and has been fighting as a professional since 2008. Jansen, 5-0 in Bellator and went 1-2 when he fought in the WEC. Held is a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu brown belt and has looked very, very sharp in this tournament. Jansen, he's looked pretty good, but man, Held is just finishing people. It's hard to go against this kid, just 20 years old. He's looking like a guy that will probably win this tournament. I mean, the only guy to have beaten him in Bellator is the current champion. I think he's destined for a rematch. I'm going to go with the Polish man, Marcin Held.
Especially Held seems like after that loss to Michael Chandler with that 5-fight win streak. And I realize that Jansen also has a 5-fight win streak, but it just seems the way that Held's been going on in this tournament, the way he's been finishing fights, he seems like a man possessed, a man that wants another shot at Michael Chandler and wants to capture not only this tournament, but also earn that shot and get,
And impressive wins, too, right? Held beating Rich Clemente, a UFC vet. He also beat Felipe Nova, a UFC vet in Bellator. So Held has looked very good. We both like him to win this tournament and beat Dave Jansen on Friday night. And we get to the main event. It is for the Bellator Heavyweight Championship. Alexander Volkov, 18-3. Richard Hale, 21-4 with one draw. This, of course, for the vacant Bellator Championship after the champion Cole Conrad retired due to taking another job, retiring undefeated. So now we crown a new champion in this heavyweight tournament final. Volkov got a TKO win in the second round over 6-3 Vinicius Queiroz on November 9th at Bellator 80 in his semifinal, while Hale fought a week prior to that at Bellator 79 on November 2nd, picking up a first-round TKO win over 11-2 Thiago Santos. Volkov, 14 of 18 wins via knockout, with 3 decisions and 1 submission. Hale, 10 of 21 wins via knockout, 8 submissions, just 3 decisions. I like how these guys fight. They fight to knock you out. Volkov has never been knocked out, though. 2 losses via submission, 1 decision, while Hale has been knocked out twice, once to Christian Mpumbu in 2011 in the Bellator light heavyweight final, and he's also lost twice via decision for 4 total losses. Hale is on a 4-fight win streak with a 6-1 Bellator record. Volkov has won 9 in a row. He's 2-0 in Bellator. He's picked up wins in his career over Rico Rodriguez and Brett Rogers, while Hale picking up wins in Bellator over DJ Linderman and Mike Wessel. Hale has been fighting as a pro since 2006 and is 27 years old, from Cleveland, Ohio originally, but fighting out of Tempe, Arizona. Volkov, 3 years younger, 24 years old, from Russia, has been fighting since 2009. I love this fight at heavyweight, and I've been thoroughly impressed with Alexander Volkov. This guy has seemed absolutely unstoppable. He dismantled Brett Rogers in the first round and then beat up Vinicius Queiroz in the second round. I like the big Russian, Alexander Volkov, to beat Richard Hale and become the new Bellator champion.
Yeah, I'm kind of tossed up with this bout. I have been impressed with Alexander Volkov, but Hale was the guy that fought at light heavyweight and looked very impressive. The only light heavyweight to ever pull off an inverted triangle choke submission. And also, considering how Bellator was marketing Thiago Santos as a guy to get the title shot, and he beat up Eric Prindle and went into that second round of the tournament, and then Hale knocked him out in that first round. I'm going to go with Richard Hale on this. I think he's the dark horse of this entire tournament, the light heavyweight moving up to heavyweight to be crowned champion.
Just the fact that Volkov has won 14 of 18, though, via knockout and has never been knocked out, and Hale, his primary weapon, also the knockout, but he's been knocked out a couple times. It makes me lean
but he's just
towards
as close
Volkov.
of a submission specialist.
Yeah, he's got 8 wins via submission, and Volkov has lost twice via submission, but I don't know. I see this being mostly a stand-up fight, and Volkov winning the fight. But Kevin likes Richard Hale, so we're split here on the main event. Should be a great fight, though, on Friday night,
Fantastic.
right?
I'm really looking forward to this bout.